All right, so man, Dominick Reyes and Jiri Prochazka, I believe. Sorry, I believe the C is silent in the pronunciation of his name. But man, they had a banger of a main event fight last night. Dominick Reyes did, of course, end up getting knocked out unconscious, completely out cold by a brutal spinning elbow, beautifully set up with a front lead elbow first, followed up by a spinning elbow, I believe with the same elbow, maybe. Nah, I don't know, but yeah, forward elbow and then delayed timing to the spinning elbow knocked him out completely out cold. Brutal KO, and Dominick Reyes has never been KO'd like that. I mean, Blachowicz kind of knocked him out badly, broke his nose really bad and everything, but I mean, he went completely unconscious from this spinning elbow. But man, this fight was such a banger. And yeah, Prohaska was probably winning the scorecards throughout the fight. He was doing more damage. He was close to finishing the fight on multiple occasions, landing multiple shots that dazed Reyes throughout the first round or two. I believe it was a second round finish. And, throughout the first round, Reyes was on, you know, wobbly feet and, even the beginning of the second round, that momentum carried through. But Reyes would continually respond with shots, that would do damage to Prohaska. I mean, he dazed him with a couple left hands, and man, the up kick he landed when Prohaska was on top of him on the ground, and he threw that up kick as he was getting up, dropped him back on him. I mean, that was crazy. That was just a crazy fight. As long as it lasted, it was super wild. Like I said, Prohaska was probably winning, but Reyes was also just a good combo away from finishing the fight too. It seemed like, as I was watching the fight, I did not think that it was a one-sided fight. Even though I did think Prohaska was winning and he got the tremendous KO, it was not a one-sided fight. And Dominick Reyes wasn't setting up all his shots. I think ultimately that's what was screwing him up a little bit. He was kind of just throwing shots out there, and they were good shots, but Prohaska would just beat him one step to the punch. I think if he, threw a little more, I don't know, feints or whatever he needs to do, but um, I think ultimately my point is I think Reyes is still, even though he's on a three-fight losing skid, I think he's still among the best in the division. I just think this guy Prohaska carries some power. He's a trippy dude. Like, I mean, that guy is a very funky style, very funky style. And it's like, ultimately, great performance from both guys. It's like, even though Reyes ended up getting knocked out and taking more damage, I don't walk away from this fight looking at him less than I did before this fight, I just look at Prohaska as better than I thought he was. But yeah, honestly, that was a barn burner of a fight while it lasted. Super fun to watch. Yeah, that was really tremendous fight. Yeah, it was just unbelievable. And even the co-main event, Giga Chikadze versus Cub Swanson. That was a great showing from Giga. I mean, didn't even let Cub Swanson get going. And that's no disrespect to Cub Swanson. I love that guy. It's just like, man, Giga just looks really good on the feet. Setting up his kicks perfectly, landing that left liver kick to end the fight. Man, that was pretty impressive. Through the kick chest high first, and then threw the next kick to the liver. So he was expecting the chest high, and then boom, came down low and finished him. It was pretty impressive performance from him. He was number 14. Swanson was number 15 coming into this fight. And after that KO, or TKO, Chikadze said he wants Max Holloway. So, man, I mean, he's right. Max Holloway doesn't have anything going on right now, but man, that's a big jump in competition. I do not know if he's ready for that, but hey, I really like the call out. There you don't see too many people calling out Max Holloway right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, even like they mentioned, if he fought Calvin Kattar, but I don't know if Kattar is still probably taking some time off. I mean, it's only been 4 months since his fight with Max. He probably still wants a pretty considerable amount of time before he gets back in there. So, but yeah, I really like the call out, him calling out Max, because like I said, there's not that many people doing that right now, like, so yeah, I mean, if they did book that fight, I would not mind watching it. I would love to see that, and I would definitely tune in. But yeah, like I said, I do not know if Chikadze is quite ready for that yet, but he was a kickboxing champion, I believe. He is 32, 33 years old. He's not a young buck by any means. He's got plenty of fight experience. So who knows? Who knows? He's training with Rafael Cordero. He's got a great team. So yeah, really, who knows? He might be ready for the best of the best in that division. And he said he thinks he's the best striker in all of MMA. So man, if he could outstrike Max Holloway, he would prove himself to be, probably the best striker in MMA right now, or one of them, along with a couple other guys. But yeah, ultimately that was a great card, opened by Merab Dvalishvili and Cody Stamann. Great back and forth fight, pretty meaningful for the bantamweight division. Both of them, right on the outskirts of the top 10. So, that's pretty good. And Merab, just looking so high pace, like so hard to deal with in that fight. And winning a unanimous decision. And Stamann looked good, but like I said, Merab's pace was just too high for him to keep up with. And almost the same thing. I didn't walk away thinking, Stamann should have done more. It's just like, man, that Merab's pace was just too high for him. It was like Merab's pace was kind of overloading his nervous system a little bit. He's like, damn, what's coming next? A takedown, a punch, a kick, he was a little bit overwhelmed by the pace, I feel like, which who wouldn't be? I mean, that guy has a motor on him. So really, I think Merab is going to be a problem for most people in that division. I mean, I think he's an animal. And I think he'd be a problem for most people in the bantamweight division, honestly. That guy's got a motor on him, and as he starts to refine his skill set even more, he's going to be dangerous. As he starts to put on finishing skills and starts to finish guys more and whatnot, he's going to be dangerous, and he already is dangerous, And then after that was Sean Strickland and Kryzstof Jotko. Good fight. Sean Strickland winning a unanimous decision, and it was a good back and forth fight. Jotko doing well to stay alive, and Strickland looking pretty good. Ultimately, not too much to say there, but Strickland being on a 4-fight win streak, I believe, being number 15 in the middleweight division. He's a very interesting character. He is a very interesting guy. I think it'd be interesting to see him and Kevin Holland go at it. I mean, they're two really interesting guys, and it's like, they probably would talk a lot. They'd probably talk to each other a lot in the cage, So I think, that'd be a very interesting fight. But ultimately, I think he should fight someone ranked higher than him now, That'd be very interesting because he's impressive. But ultimately, he's beat everyone with a similar skill set. He kind of likes to box, it seems like. Like, he does everything, of course, in mixed martial arts, but he beats a lot of people with his boxing, And we'll see if he can outbox most people in the middleweight division and people higher than him, like Kevin Holland do. And Kevin Holland specifically is very fast, Holland is very fast. So if he can beat Holland, I mean, that would be a big statement on the level of his striking, especially if he beats him in the striking, which I'm sure he would, because Holland has great Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But, he got beat on his back in his last 2 fights, so who knows? Strickland doesn't typically take the fight to the ground, but he might opt to do that against Kevin Holland. But ultimately, this is not a fight that has been made, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. I just meant to say that I think Strickland should fight the guy above him, because yeah, he's on a 4-fight win streak, and this was an impressive win. Yeah, so ultimately not too much to say on that fight though. And then Ion Cutelaba or Cutabala, sorry, off the top of my head, I always mix that last part of his name up. But yeah, he went out there against Dustin Jacoby, and of course they had the physical altercation at the stare down prior to the fight. But yeah, the first round was very dominant in favor of Ion Cutelaba. Just like his wrestling against the fence was great, doing a lot of damage to Dustin Jacoby, especially with those frame elbows on his face. Oh my gosh, goodness, framing on his head, and then boom, just over and over again, doing a lot of damage. And the referee, I believe it was Mark Smith. I could be wrong, I don't remember, but the referee was getting very close to stepping in, especially when he was landing those frame elbows repeatedly. That fight was not too far from getting stopped because it was just such a dominant round, and Dustin Jacoby was taking a lot of damage, But in those second two rounds, the tide changed, and it seemed like Dustin Jacoby, came out and won both of those rounds and looked pretty good. And ultimately, it was a split draw. One judge had Jacoby, one judge had Cutelaba, and one judge had a tie, had a draw. So, ultimately, that's even what I was watching the fight, and my girlfriend asked me, oh, who do you think won? I said, it could have been a draw if it's a 10-8 first round and 2 rounds for Jacoby, and that's what it was, but it was a split draw. So, yeah, very interesting, but great fight card, especially for a fight night, a free fight night at the Apex. That was a great card, top to bottom. And, so with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Prochazka and Reyes, if you think Prochazka can potentially be the next champion. I mean, that's what they said. They said he's going to fight the winner of Glover and Blachowicz. So let me know if you think he can be the next champion. Maybe I'll make a video on that as well. And leave a comment. Let me know. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe for more videos like this one. And thank you for watching.